Good morning, students. Since the last few classes, we have been revising the chapters included in your party book, which has already been finished. And in the last class itself, we have finished revising the first chapter, that is Finn McCall and the Giant's Causeway. So, student, after it, today we are proceeding towards starting another new chapter, which is your second chapter named Little World of Mud. So, student, at first, let me read out the first few paragraphs from the chapter itself. Let's start with it. I had never thought there was much to be found in the rainwater pond behind our bungalow in North India, except for quantities of mud and the occasional water buffalo. It was my grandfather who showed me the pond's world. It was very beautiful. Each member was used to the others. To the residents of the pond was the world, and to these creatures, the world was just a muddy pond. When grandfather first showed me the pond world, he chose a dry place in the shade of an old peepal tree. The buffaloes had not arrived, so the water of the pond was undisturbed. For the first 10 minutes, we saw nothing. Then a small black spot appeared in the middle of the pond. Gradually, it rose higher until at last we could make out a frog's head, its big eyes staring hard at us. The frog didn't know if we were friends or enemies, so he kept his body out of sight. A heron, his enemy, might have been waiting in search of a meal. When Mr. Fogg had made sure that we were not herons, he passed this information on to his friends, and very soon there was a number of big heads and eyes on the surface of the water. We heard a music that went walk, walk, walk. In the shallow water, we could see a dark shadow. When I touched it with a stick, thousands of little black tadpoles started moving and pushing each other. What do the tadpoles eat? I asked. They eat one another most of the time, said grandfather. Grandfather, it seems unpleasant, but if all the young tadpoles in the pond grew into frogs, then every inch of the ground would be full of frogs. I brought home a number of frogs and put them in a glass jar and left them on a window. See, I didn't tell anyone of this. At about 4 in the morning, the entire household was awakened by a loud and fearful noise. Grandmother and other members of the family ran out. Then my grandmother saw them. She was angry and she wanted them thrown out of the window. But the grandfather stopped her. She gave the bottle a good shaking, and that quieted them for some time. So, student, we shall read up to this much only today. Now, student, let me give you a short summary of whatever we have read today. So, student, the story is about a small boy. The boy, he used to live in a bungalow in northern part of the India. And he had a grandfather. One day, his grandfather showed him a pond, and the pond was behind their bungalow. Bungalow means their house. When grandfather first showed him that pond, they used to sit under the shade of an old peepal tree, and before it he used to see only water buffalo and some mud in the pond. But his grandfather showed him the real world of that pond. The grandfather and his grandchild, both of them, they sat under the tree for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, they saw a frog's head coming out of the water. He was looking at the poet and his grandfather with big eyes. The frog thought that they must be a heron. A heron, you can see it is a bird, and these herons are the enemies of frogs. So at first the frog, he made sure that these people were herons or not. When he made it sure that they were not herons, they passed that information to his other friends, and very soon the poet and grandfather, they saw a lot of black heads and eyes appeared on the surface of the water, and they made a voice of music of walk walk. Then the boy, he touched the water with a little stick, and immediately thousands of little black tadpoles started moving and pushing each other. Then the poet asked his grandfather that what does the tadpole eat, and his grandfather told that most of the times they eat each other. Grandfather also told him that it sounds unpleasant, but if all the young tadpoles they grew in the pond, then every inch of the ground would be full of frogs. After that, the poet, he brought a few frogs to his home in a glass jar and left them on a windowsill. But in the next day, at about 4 in the early morning, the entire household was awakened by a noise made by the tadpoles in the jar. The grandmother and the other family member, they became very much angry, and grandmother, she wanted to throw these tadpoles out of their house, but grandfather stopped her. After that, the grandfather gave the bottle a good shaking, and then all the tadpoles, they became quiet for some time. So student, this is the summary of the first 3 pages that we have read today. I hope that if you had any doubts earlier, you have clarified all this today. Now student, here are the important word meanings. They are here. All the words are almost simple, only 2 are difficult I thought for all of you, and they are: number 1 is bungalow, which means a large house, sometimes on more than one level. And number B is heron, a large bird with a long neck and long legs that lives near water. You can see student, you can see it is the heron. This is the heron, and you can see it has a long neck and it lives near the water, and its food is the insects of the water, and it also eats the frogs. That's why herons and frogs are the enemies. So student, that's it. This is the end of our today's class. Tomorrow we shall read the last remaining parts of the story, and I shall also give you the summary of that in tomorrow's class. So student, thank you so much.